Welcome, Alexander, to my presentation about the global warming issue we have in our world today. To start it off, we have our first slide here, which is basically what I am going to be talking about today. Carbon dioxide is basically a gas released into the atmosphere, and I will come back to why that is a problem. Our average temperature has increased by a lot, basically, 1 degrees or so in the last couple of years. And 1 degrees might sound like a tiny issue, like nothing big, but we'll get back to it. It's a big deal. And a little bit about the greenhouse effect, what it is, and why that has a big role to do with anything out of this, and how we release carbon dioxide into the world or the atmosphere. A little bit of what we can do to help the nature stabilize itself again, and which consequences global warming have to our Earth, and just a small conclusion here in the end. Yeah, moving on. Carbon dioxide. That's a chemical compound of carbon and oxygen. It works kind of like a jacket. We have more of that in the next slide. Basically, our biggest outlet, or what you want to call it, is from the big industries today, and their toxic waste and stuff, and cars and etc. And carbon dioxide can be incredibly toxic, but that's in bigger amounts. Anyways, the greenhouse effect. That works like a big jacket. So imagine the atmosphere like some kind of jacket to keep us warm, yeah? As you can see here in the picture, the sun sends basically warmth into basically our atmosphere, so it heats up the Earth, and then it flies, or then it crashes in the Earth and it flies back out. But our jacket makes sure some of the warmth still stay inside of the atmosphere, basically, and the more carbon dioxide that's like in this little thing here, the warmer it gets, basically. So it's like wearing two jackets now, basically. So it's gonna heat up the Earth a lot. And here you also have like why it's called like a greenhouse effect, because that's how greenhouses work, yeah. The warmth comes in, some of it goes out, and some of it stays inside, yeah. But what does the human species have to do about any of this? Well, nowadays everybody has their own car, and cars produce carbon dioxide, which is just basically going straight into the atmosphere, laying around like a jacket, like I talked about in the last slide. And many countries are still behind when it comes to toxic waste and how to handle it, etc. And then again, cutting down trees. This is a pretty interesting point right here. Trees, they absorb carbon dioxide and they transform it into oxygen again. And humans now, we cut down our rainforests and chop down trees to make wood, to make buildings, blah blah blah. And of course that's a big issue when there's no plants and trees left, and most of the carbon dioxide just bounces straight up to back out in the atmosphere. So we're basically killing our best friends. Combustion of oil, gas and coal. We're using oil, gas and coal for energy, which is not renewable at all. It's toxic, and we have to find new ways to deal with that. So, what can we do to stabilize this? We can make use of the public transport we have today, like the bus and stuff, because as I said, there's many people using their own cars and so on, and that's a big problem. When if everybody is driving a car, obviously it produces more carbon dioxide. You can cut less trees, burn less oil, gas and coal. We have to find renewable energy, like solar panels maybe, batteries. We have to use less of the non-renewable energy sources, and use more of their renewable energy sources, like solar panels and blah, so on. And we also need to go together as a nation. The whole world has to make international laws, basically. Some countries are still behind. They cut down more and more forests, blah blah blah, use a lot of industry, burn oil, blah blah. Yeah, we basically need to go together as a nation and stop this big problem. But only 1 degree is that a big deal? So what? Well, the fatal consequences is in the north and the south. You have the North Pole, a lot of ice, and that will melt. The water level is gonna go up, of course. It's gonna cause floods. It's gonna it has even fatalities when it comes into this, and some uh, animal species are also going extinct because of this. So yeah, the whole world is basically affected by this. We have the warmer countries get warmer, the colder countries gets colder, and so on. And my conclusion about this is just a small change in our everyday that can make a huge difference in our world today. Um, if we just make use of public transport, as I said somewhere here, cut less trees, use renewable energy sources like the solar panel instead of using oil and gas and coal and so on. And even though the changes in the average temperature is small, the impact is yet big because the water level increases, animal species is being threatened to die out, and the amount of carbon dioxide released today has to be it has to be reduced, because if we don't do this, the world is gonna go under in a couple of years. So everybody, and I mean everybody, has to help solve this massive issue, the whole world. Thank you for your time, Alexander. This was Ivan with his amazing presentation. Goodbye.